When we last left off, Luke Skywalker turned his back on the galaxy, the Republic, and his own sister Leia Organa by turning to the dark side to stop the dark side from within. However, when Luke made his grand return to the galaxy, it wasn't to save the Republic. It was to crush it under the brute force of the Empire's new toy, the World Devastator. Han Solo unfortunately lost his life, and the Empire is on its way to Chandrila, New Republic capital. What will our heroes do? Let's find out. In their previous bout with the Empire, the World Devastators proved to be too much for the New Republic. Every X-Wing in the battle was lost, and the Empire's fleet seemed infinite due to the feature that allows the Devastators to quickly pump out TIEs, destroyers, and whatever else to their evil heart's content. The resources they have will not be enough for another battle. In an emergency meeting, Leia, who at this time is broken due to the loss of her husband, would make the decision to take a shuttle outside Chandrila's atmosphere and immediately surrender herself to the Empire as they make their way out of hyperspace. This will give them more time. However, secretly aboard this shuttle would be R2-D2, who has the task of locating the World Devastator's plans and transmitting them back to base. This mission would be risky. The Empire's forces compared to Leia's shuttle is more than enough to sell the Republic's situation. The end of the Republic has arrived. Tractor beamed inside the colossal warship, Leia would come face to face with the man who took her husband's life, Luke Skywalker. His cold, Sith yellow eyes would pierce the soul of his sister, who could only look on in horror at the man Luke had become. This man, this thing, who is no longer her brother. This wouldn't be the only horror she would see today, as the worst is yet to come. Luke and the stormtroopers he commands take Leia away. Once the coast is clear, R2-D2, who is hidden within a secret compartment in the ship, begins his mission. The fate of the Republic lies within his metal frame. As Luke and Leia walk the cold corridors of the Star Destroyer, Leia could only wonder what was going through Luke's head. By the time she works up the courage to say something, anything for that matter, a new threat has arrived. The Dark Lord of the Sith himself. This would be the first time in history Leia would meet the true villain that has plagued the galaxy, and she would hope it was the last. The Dark Lord would prod Leia, asking her questions like, "What do you think of my creation?" referring to Luke. The princess, now Chancellor of the New Republic, would play into Palpatine's ego, telling him she is here to surrender, and she'll do anything as long as the people of Chandrila are safe. Palpatine howls in laughter. Referring to Leia as young Skywalker, Palpatine makes it clear he knows the game she's playing. The little astromech droid was found scurrying the corridors. Just like with Alderaan, Leia has failed. Palpatine orders his guards to take Leia away, but before she goes, he orders Luke to begin his assault on Chandrila. Without skipping a beat, Luke agrees. Leia is pulled away in tears, calling for her brother to stop this. She pleads, but all she receives are those cold yellow eyes. The final battle for the New Republic begins. On Chandrila, alarms blare. Ships full of the planet's civilians blast off in hopes of sanctuary. However, they are only met with blaster fire from the incoming Imperial fleet making its way to the surface. Pilots scramble into their X-Wings even though they know this will be their final stand. Aboard the Emperor's flagship, Leia is fighting a different war, an internal one. Like Luke and Vader before him, Leia is now another pawn in Palpatine's grand scheme. The process of turning another Skywalker to the dark side and continuing his legacy. Sidious would mention how Leia is to become a great Jedi because he has foreseen it. The quick-witted Leia would strike back, saying Palpatine should know then that his demise is coming. But even if that were true, we know he has a card up his sleeve. This time, that card is a Jedi holocron containing a message from Jedi Master Bodo Baas. This message was a warning against toying with the dark side, as those who have perished. The Dark Lord would question Leia if she knew Anakin took Padme's life. Vader lost his life in vain because the very boy he tried to protect now serves Sidious. Leia, who is seething with anger, declares she'll never join him. But Palpatine isn't truly referring to her. The Dark Emperor would divulge her of his secret of immortality. Not to the detail he told Luke, but enough for her to understand that he can enter anybody and overpower the soul within. Today is the day that he will transition into a new body, but there will be a day he will need another. Without another word, he points at Leia's stomach, which inside contains her unborn child. A smile rips across his face ear to ear. The Skywalker anger is within her. Palpatine has won, or so he thinks. On Chandrila, the war rages on, but the tide is turned against the Empire. Due to something or someone, a few of the world devastators have gone offline, allowing the Republic forces to gain the upper hand. Within his chamber, Luke learns of this new development as well from Imperial staff. Someone's tampered with the master control signal, someone in the command section. Rather than ensure that Sidious is notified, Luke requests this information be kept secret, and anyone else who knows of this information be sent directly to him. This will be a matter he'll deal with himself. Seconds later, we hear a familiar pattern of beeps. From the shadows emerges R2-D2, who trails his way out of the room with a motion of Luke's hand. Why is R2 with Luke? And why doesn't he want the Emperor to know that there's a traitor in their midst? There is a whole other game afoot, and we are only just scratching the surface. R2-D2 scours the halls on a mission to rescue Leia from her cold confinement, who is crushed. However, this isn't the time for happy reunions. R2 has a message for Leia. In the holographic image is Luke, who tells Leia that he has programmed R2 with a code that can shut down all the Devastators. She needs to take R2 off the ship immediately and return to Chandrila. In a dark, strange room, secret and locked away, is a room full of Bacta tanks with bodies upon bodies. At the center of the room stands Palpatine, who meditates, beginning the transition process to a new body. Behind the Dark Lord stands Luke, lightsaber drawn. Palpatine knows why Luke is here. Treason. Rather than engage, Palpatine disintegrates in a flash of light. The race is on. Luke knows Palpatine can only transfer his consciousness to a living body. He strikes every Bacta tank he can see, all except one. Reborn, Sidious calls a lightsaber to him with the Force and engages Luke. The battle is intense, but in the end, the new power of the Dark Lord is too much to handle. Luke is disarmed and brought down to his knees. We return to Leia, who has found her shuttle. Rather than leave, she records a quick message for R2 to transmit to whoever he can find first. Once again, R2-D2 is her only hope. The ship takes off, and Leia makes her way to find Luke, who, despite his efforts, has been turned back to the dark side. The two Skywalkers stand face to face. While I would love to see them duel, I think this fight would be more mental, a battle within the Force itself. Leia would plead to Luke's heart. She would tell Luke that what's happened, happened, but the future is Luke's choice. Leia would tell Luke she is pregnant, and this child will be trained by Luke, because regardless of what's transpired, Luke is still the Jedi the galaxy needs. These words would shake Luke. The power of the dark side that once gripped his heart is no more, and the Emperor can say nothing or do nothing to change that. Sidious and Luke engage again in lightsaber combat. However, this time, Palpatine's power is nothing compared to Luke's. Palpatine is bested, and not just in the Force. On Chandrila, R2's mission was successful. The world devastators have been stopped. Finally, the dark side of the Force and the Empire have been vanquished. Or have they? Palpatine, in his rage, creates a giant Force storm that envelops everything that surrounds the brooding Star Destroyer. However, this doesn't faze the Skywalker twins. The two meditate and combine their Force power. Blinded by his rage, the dark genius can't see the life energy that is surging over him, and as a result, loses control of his unlimited power. It consumes him, and the Skywalker twins make their escape from the ship before it too is destroyed. The New Republic and the Jedi stand tall.